Hey, welcome to today's product launch. Almost the end of the year. Black Friday is behind us. The holiday season's in full swing, and hopefully it's going to be a great one for all of the brands on the call today and all of our customers that mentioned me. So we're really excited today. We've a full team on to talk to you about some of the brand new features that we are launching and how they're going to be able to help you to be more successful as you look to grow your business in these tough times ahead. So let's talk about who's on the call today. We've got myself, Roy Robinson, Chief Product Officer at Mention Me. I've been with Mention Me now for about 13 months, having a great time, and I've been engaging with some of you directly, customers, and it's been fantastic to learn more about your businesses. We also have on the call Anka Phillip, who's our Head of Product. Anka's been here for a lot longer than me. She's been here for 8 years, and it's just past Anka's anniversary, so it is. So we can wish Anka a happy work anniversary. And she's got a lot of insights around the power of referral and advocacy in general. And we also have Carol on with us, who's a lead client success manager. Carol spends day in, day out talking with a lot of you wonderful customers, hearing about the challenges you face in your business and how we can help you as we go forward. So he's going to bring some fantastic insights going forward. So what can you expect from today? Well, I'll give you a little bit of a sneak preview because Anka will be going into much deeper on what we're launching and the value that it drives. But we basically have two key features to talk about today. We have extended customer revenue. Now, you might think, what is that? Well, we'll explain it all in a few moments, and hopefully it'll be something which you see real value in. And we also have a brand new executive dashboard. I think that's a bit more understandable what we have there. But again, Anka will talk to you about that, and we'll also give you a demo of what that looks like going forward. But before we get into the new features, I just wanted to talk about some of the things that we've been finding, obviously, in the marketplace, and some of the things we've been finding talking to our customers, like yourselves. I think it's fair to say that at the moment, the unexpected is a bit daunting. The next few years are a bit daunting for us all. I'm not going to dwell on this for too long. I'm someone who's an optimist, so it pains me to kind of talk about this, but we know that inflation is spiked at, to levels that we haven't seen for 40 or 50 years. And what's that meaning for consumers today is that discretionary budget that they had is shrinking, or it's maybe completely gone. And so their buying patterns and their buying habits are going to change and be probably very unpredictable over the next couple of years. And what that means then for businesses is that they're going to struggle. We had, whenever COVID first struck, I think, again, it was a black swan event, a 1 in 100-year event. And at the start, there was a lot of panic and worry about what would happen. And probably in the end, for those businesses that could pivot online or adapt their business, it actually turned out to be quite a good time for many businesses. And so that's made it even harder coming into the recession that we now find ourselves in. And so it's a worrying time for businesses. And again, as a trusted partner, we want to be there to support you in this. And today, the features we're going to talk about are designed to help you to grow sustainably, even though we're in tough economic times. But let's just delve a little bit more deeply into why it is that we're releasing the features today. So this is a bold statement. Today's marketing strategy is no longer fit for purpose. So what do we mean by that? Well, let's think about some of the changes that are coming down the line. We know that there was iOS changes in iOS 14 almost a couple of years ago now, and that had a big impact on how you could track an attribute to your customer or consumers or your customers. We know that Google has promised that Chrome is going to bring in similar changes, and now I think it's in for the end of next year, which means that third-party cookies will no longer be available to be able to personalize and track, how people are when they're visiting your brand and some of the activity they have. And so it's really important then that brands start to think about how can they change how they collect data now going forward. So that's one of the big changes. We also know that some of the core acquisition channels and retention channels that brands have been using, and we'll talk about this now, like Facebook and Google, there's been hyperinflation on the costs there. So again, it's not sustainable for those channels to keep getting more expensive. So that marketing mix we've seen at the moment needs to change. And one of the other drivers that we've been able to see, we recently published the Advocacy Gap report, and you may have seen it back in May. And we surveyed 1,000 leading marketers. We surveyed consumers as well. We wanted to understand how do consumers see different things differently from what was maybe the reality with the marketers and where their budgets went. And what we saw was that 30% of the consumers that we polled said that the least trusted form of marketing was social media. But yet that's where, for 63% of marketers, that's where their main budget is going. And you can see the breakdown here is that we know that marketing budgets have been shrinking anyway, but if you think that on average about 60 to 64% of that is going on either spending with Amazon or Facebook or Google. And what we see from that, and just looking at Facebook, for example, is, so I talked about that hyperinflation, is that the acquisition cost with Facebook before COVID had risen 60% in 5 years. And then if you look at over the past couple of years, I'm sure if you're on one of the digital teams, you've been able to see, sometimes you wonder when you log in one day to the next, what is the acquisition cost going to be? What's the CPA going to be? Because it just seems to be no reason sometimes why it spikes. And at the moment then, obviously, with the recession and the need to acquire new customers and high quality customers, these channels again are going to be very unpredictable what those acquisition costs can be, what your CPA can be predicted to be. So you're not going to know how best to manage your budgets and be able to prove the return on investment going forward. And then as we talked about previously, as we see these changes in third-party cookies, it's going to affect these channels where so much of the budget has been presented over the past few years. So that's it. So I'm not going to be negative anymore, but that's what we're trying to talk about. And everyone that's logged in today will be aware of that. Is that current status quo has been around for quite a few years now. It's nearly been able to, the budget's nearly been able to write itself about where you're maybe going to invest your money, because that seemed to be something that just worked. That seemed so we know if we put money in, we're going to get some results. But yet we've given reasons why change must happen, and change is coming whether we like it or not. We talked about the death of the third-party cookies, the spiraling costs within these, but Mention Me are determined to be the catalyst for change going forward. What we need to do is we need to make sure that we help brands like yours to secure more first-party data now. I'm sure all of you remember, many of you anyway, will remember that the days of GDPR before it was coming in, and all of the brands obviously needed to look at what data they were collecting. Were they putting the right permissions up onto the website and their mobile app? And a lot of brands get caught out because they left it to the last minute, and then all of a sudden they were having to take down mobile apps and take down websites. It was affecting their revenue streams. Their customers were having a really bad experience, and consumers, sometimes some of them were getting taken to court through GDPR. And again, we're going to see a similar shift this time. Whenever the third-party cookies go, the third-party data goes, a lot of brands hopefully won't get caught out. But what we will see is that they maybe will not have thought of this, and all of a sudden, a lot of their marketing campaigns and their targeting and segmentation that's been based on third-party cookies will no longer be there, and they'll be caught behind they'll be behind the competition. And so one of the things that needs to change is that brands need to start and think about where they get their first-party cookie, or where they get their first-party data now to help them to get ahead of that curve. And what they also need to do is they need to think about which channels can I acquire really high-quality customers from that's going to have a manageable CPA, that's going to be something which is sustainable, and I can predict my marketing spend and budget going forward. We chatted on the fact that there's a downturn, but the great thing is that there is the ability to be able to come out of it stronger as a brand. It's not a lost cause. And there was this report from Forrester, which was aimed at CMOs just a couple of months ago. It surveyed about 9,000 different businesses that had been through, one of the last 4 economic downturns, global economic downturns. And what they found was that only 6 to 9% of them came out of it stronger, but some did come out stronger. And they looked at the reasons for that. And this was the quote that they gave: of businesses that come out of economic downturns stronger, their secret is cutting fat, not operating muscle, while selectively investing in high growth opportunities. So what we see there is that businesses need to take a look at their tooling, at how they're doing work, especially in marketing teams. Are there areas there that are becoming, the return on investment is becoming less and less, spiraling costs? We've just talked about some of those with the digital channels. Are there tools perhaps that you're not getting the return on, whether it's for acquisition or retention? If there's fat there, if you're not getting a return, now is the time to take tough decisions, to take them out and to invest in other channels that does have proven returns, which is going to help you to come out of this downturn much stronger than your eyes would have. So one of the things obviously that we want to do, and we've been in business almost 10 years now, working with north of 1,000 brands, is that the most valuable asset that you have is your customers. If you can treat your customers well, if you can give them a great product and a great service, and they come to love your brand, they're the most valuable asset that you can have. Why is that? Well, because they're going to talk to their friends and family about you and about your brand. And obviously what you need for that is you need a really good tool to help you to do that. And that's obviously where Mention Me has grown over the past 10 years to become market leading experts in this space. We know that if you can leverage the exponential power of your customers, you're going to see the people that you bring along are going to refer 5 times more people than those who come through social channels. They're going to spend more on their first and subsequent orders. They're going to buy more, and they're going to have a markedly higher LTV as well. And there's many brands that are changing how they're doing things. Now they're mixing up that marketing mix we talked about. They're changing their marketing strategy. Airbnb is an example, and I have to say, Airbnb at this point are not a Mention Me partner. Hopefully that'll change soon. So if you're talking Airbnb, if you're on this call, we'd love to talk to you. But what we find is that they looked at how they were spending their budgets on marketing, and they could see how expensive and how unreliable these other channels were becoming. So what they decided to do was move their spend away from paid search into brand advocacy marketing. And they had outstanding results. You can see here that their revenues rose by 29% year on year, outperforming what Wall Street had predicted they would do. So it was really good for their business. They thought about how they treated their customers, how they should talk to their customers, when they should talk to their customers, and they saw these outstanding examples as well. But one of the problems that a lot of businesses have, particularly e-com businesses, is because they've maybe been using tools like marketing automation tools, CRM or CDP, they've really had a very narrow view of who their best customers are. Why is it so important for you to know who your best customers are? Well, as a brand, if you can understand who your best customers are, if you can get access to the data, that should be able to help you find more people that are going to be tomorrow's best customers. It also means that you're going to be able to make sure that the best customers you have today are given the right treatment so that they'll stay with you, rather than you having to go out and acquire new customers, which can be costly, as we know. And this is some of the ways currently that brands are identifying their best customers. It's all around RFM. You know, how much are they spending? When did they last spend? How frequently do they spend? Has their average order value increased? These are all ways that people are looking for the best customers today. But actually, what we have been able to see from the data is that is not the way to identify your best customers. So what is, you might ask? Well, we have taken an example from one of our partners of Huel. Now, Chris is a real person. We've changed the name to protect the innocent, you might say. And he, as a customer of Huel, he bought one of the bags at the foot supplements for £200 a year. That's what RFM would see. So he was in their lower quartile as when it came to value as a customer. That's how they saw him through those traditional means. But actually, whenever we went and looked at the data, and whenever we overlaid advocacy into this picture, it was completely different. We see that Chris referred 7 of his own friends, who then went on to refer another 4 friends. And whenever you check what Chris spent, plus what his friends spent, we see that then Chris was responsible for that brand through his advocacy for driving revenues of $3,200 per year. This put him in the top 5% of customers, which means he should be treated differently. Because you can imagine if you've got 100 Chris's or 1,000 Chris's or 10,000 Chris's, what's that going to do for your brand? It's going to help you to grow sustainably through these tough economic times. And what a difference that is, because that is a much easier, much lower CPA, much easier to predict what that's going to look like for your business, because you should have that first party data there about people like Chris. You should have a platform there that's going to help you to leverage that going forward. So obviously you're aware that our vision is that we want all brands to think advocacy first, and hopefully just those few slides that we talked to helps you to see why it's so important for brands to do that. It's not just some wishful thinking, something nice to have, a nice have, but it should become a core part of your business. If you can start to think advocacy first, it's going to affect every way that you treat your customers, and you're going to be able to leverage them to tell their friends and family and bring them to love your brand as well too going forward. And the businesses will succeed to do this. We talked about that 6 to 9% that are going to cut fat and going to invest in operating muscle. And what we've been able to see here is that businesses with the highest degrees of advocacy beat the market by a factor of 3. So I would say that if I could say to all you listening today, you're going to outperform your competition by a factor of 3 today, you would take it. You would probably take my hands off. And that's what we're saying, but that's what you can do through advocacy first. So enough from me for now. I'd like to hand over to Anke and Carol, and Anke's going to talk you through our new features, and Carol's going to bring some interesting insights for us. So over to you guys.
Thank you, Roy, and welcome everyone. I am very excited to share with you today our latest product features. And as Roy mentioned, we are on a journey to help all brands think advocacy first. And to help you achieve that, today we are introducing 2 new features that we call the extended customer revenue and also a brand new executive dashboard. And as I will talk through over the next couple of minutes, you'll see that these new solutions that we're bringing to the MentionMe platform today will give you those key advocacy insights that you need and will help you better understand who those best customers are, so then you can take action off the back of that. So over the next couple of minutes, we'll go through a quick overview of those 2 solutions, and we'll also jump to show you a demo of the platform as well. So starting with our first feature today, if we go back actually to the example, Roy, that you shared of Chris, which is one of Huel's customers, it was really clear for us when we were looking at the data that actually the current traditional view of best customers is missing an essential ingredient, and that is all about the power of referral, the power of advocacy. According to a Gartner report, 80% of businesses' future profits will come from just 20% of their existing customers. So really, the biggest untapped asset for your business is in your existing customer base, and you need to be able to identify who those customers are. And we've been able to do that here and MentionMe, but I was kind of keen to hear maybe from Carl, how does that resonate with you from your conversations with our partners today?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely resonates. Like sometimes speaking with clients, we spend too much time focusing solely on the volume of customers we're driving through referral, which it is important, but not enough time analyzing that quality and that long-term behavior of those newly acquired customers. So with the likes of Charlotte Tilbury, we've seen that their referred customers have a 39% higher AOV than customers acquired through those other channels, which is obviously a really big win for profitable growth delivered by your existing advocates. And so that's why this feature is so exciting.
Yes, yeah, amazing. And I think that some of the results we've seen with Charlotte Tilbury are sort of similar across the board. We see so much more value coming from customers that are being introduced to referral and that are engaging with the referral program. So taking all of this into account, obviously, we've within the product team at MentionMe, we've looked at all of these challenges. We've looked at the way that traditional methods focus on either the actual or predicted spend. We also kind of looking ahead to the economic crisis that we're all currently in. We know this will put even more pressure on customers' willingness to spend, and so it's super important. It's very important for us to identify areas where we can drive more value to all of you here. So our solution helps you kind of tackle these challenges by helping you identify who those best customers are. And so we call this looking at it through a lens of extended customer revenue. And by knowing who these customers are, you'll be able to create more meaningful, targeted experiences that will help you further nurture advocacy. So how do we do that? Well, we do it by, as we've seen in the example from Huel, we look at measuring not only the customer's individual spend, but we look also at the spend that their friends or the family, any of the recommendations that they've done to the brand, all of that combined revenue. What does that mean to your business? And this really helps us and gives us a very unique perspective on who your best customers are. So let's have a quick look at an example from one of our customers. So if we look at this chart, what you can see here is a comparison between the value of a a customer that has never referred to your brand versus a customer that is referring. So the black bars in this chart will show you the individual spend of a non-referrer, and the pink bars really show you the extended revenue of a customer who is referring. And this is made up of two components. It's made up of the individual spend of the referrer, but also of the spend of the friends that they refer to the brand. And now with this launch today, we are actually only looking at that first layer of referrals, but we know that there is a much kind of wider network out there. So we will be working to bring all of those insights into the platform very, very soon. But even looking at this chart, you can see that customers referring have a much higher spend when you look at it through the extended customer revenue lens. And we see this pattern across the majority of the clients that we work with. And so what we are able to do today, and with all of this data, we're able to really identify those kind of segments of customers to help you target them in a different way and really create those personalized experiences. But Carl, have you seen other success stories from your work so far?
Yeah, I mean, Puma is a great example of this. So they discovered that their customers acquired through referral were 4 times more likely to refer one of their own friends when compared to a customer acquired through another channel. So now they're using this insight to segment and speak differently to their kind of valuable brand advocates, evolving how they build their cohorts and basing that on a customer's stage in their personal advocacy journey.
Yes, yeah, amazing. And what a great success story. And it's very consistent with so many other stories that we see. And this is why we believe that kind of having the referral data at the heart of everything that we do will help you think advocacy first. But I wanted to give everyone a quick sneak peek into the platform as well. So let's take a couple of minutes to watch a short demo from the product team that's worked on our solution.
Welcome to the Mention Me Customer Value Dashboard. This page has 2 key purposes. Number 1, to surface insight about your most valuable customer and also the value of the referral channel. Number 2, to help identify your most valuable customers so you can enhance your segmentation, deliver better customer experiences, and ultimately help drive more sustainable growth. So let's get into it. Section 1 looks at your extended customer revenue performance. So what exactly is extended customer revenue? Extended customer revenue is the revenue that a customer spends plus the value brought in by anyone they refer. There are handy links on the page to help explain this further. The key element in this section is the chart that you can now see on your screen. This chart compares the extended customer revenue against the individual spend of non-referring customers. You can see the extended customer revenue represented by the pink bars. So that's split down into the spend from referral and then the customer's individual spend. You can then compare that against the spend of a non-referrer, which is represented by the black bar. So moving on to section 2, how referral drives growth. This section helps you understand the value of referrers compared to non-referrers. They're generally a much higher quality customer, as the 3 tiles below demonstrate. In general, referrers are much more likely to purchase again than non-referrers, and they're much more likely to introduce a new customer compared to someone that hasn't been introduced to your brand through referral. Moving on to the third and final section. This section allows you to identify your most valuable customers and then take action off the back of it to drive more sustainable growth. So we've split your most valuable customers into 3 groups: high, medium, and low ECR. These ECR segments are based specifically on your customer's average order value and will be unique to you. You can see the exact values by using the tooltips. For example, with this test client, the customer's high ECR value is any value that's greater than £165. You can see the percentage split between these 3 different segments using the tiles. It's also represented in the chart that you can see below. We further split high, medium, and low ECR into active, dormant, and lapsed states. You can export the customer data using these links and then take action off the back of it. For example, an email campaign to move customers from medium ECR into the high ECR group, or you might want to try and reactivate dormant customers. Over time, you'll be able to use this chart to track progress and see how your actions have impacted your overall customer segmentation. Thank you for listening. Over to you, Anka.
Right, so hopefully you all enjoyed the demo. All of these insights are now available to our customers in the MentionMe dashboard. So please do log in and check it out after the webinar. Do let us know what you think. We're always looking for feedback. We're always looking to get your feedback to improve and add more value to all of the features that we have in the MentionMe platform. Now, for any of our clients that are on our optimized package, you'll also be able to soon use the ECR customer segment data as part of our smart audiences solution. So what that will allow you to do is automatically sync this data with Facebook and with Google, so you are able to target lookalike audiences and really help you optimize your spend across other marketing channels. So we're kind of using this data to help you drive your business growth through all of the channels that you're currently using as part of your marketing strategy. Now, moving on to our second launch today, I'm really excited to introduce also a brand new executive dashboard. So next time you log into the MentionMe platform, when you go in to check your ECR insights as well, you will notice that we have completely reinvented your main dashboard experience. So we're able to surface deeper insights at a glance, and we're really able to give you a snapshot of the value and the key value that we deliver to you as a business. Now, as we head into a recession, all of you here on the call and all marketers will need to understand what channels are performing well, so they are able to make the right decisions. And all of us are pressed for time these days, and so you really must be able to do this at a glance without needing to go deep dive into reports and charts and stats. And so this was our main goal with the executive dashboard, was to be able to give you that information at a glance and to help you make the right decisions later on.
Yeah, speaking with clients, one of the regular challenges that stakeholders have shared with us is that they're responsible for managing more and more, and so for some, the platform almost has too much data and insight available. So cutting through this and surfacing the key data points and metrics to help drive learnings and actions for them is really crucial. We've got mountains of data we can analyze with clients, but our clients definitely also like to have access to quick and snappy insights at a glance.
Yes, excellent. Well, our new executive dashboard will definitely help all of our customers achieve that. So some of the insights that we're including into the new dashboard will be related to the revenue. So, for example, revenue that we're generating, that we've generated by new customers that were introduced through referral, but also beyond that, looking at the wider kind of revenue through the lens of any subsequent purchases or any of the repeat purchases that we might be driving from customers that are also referring your brand. We are also able to show you key interactions that your customers have with the referral program, and very importantly, also how that compares to peers in your industry. And we already back in our launch a couple of months ago, we introduced a brand new benchmarking insights into the platform. We got really good feedback and was very excited to see so many of our customers using it on a regular basis. And that's really all about surfacing those key conversion points into the referral program and understanding how your customers are interacting with the performance and what that compares with how we're seeing across your industry. Another key value that we deliver to all of our clients through referral is being able to build that that first party data. So Roy mentioned earlier. So the new executive dashboard that we have today will show you how many new contacts we've created, how many marketing opt-ins we've driven over a period of time, whether you're driving that through the referral program or through more targeted interactions to your customers, asking them to sign up to your newsletter. And if you're a client with access to the optimized features, we'll also be able to show you at a glance how propensity to refer drives growth for your business, and also how you are using that first-party referral data across your other channels through our Smart Audiences solution. But let's take a quick look at the demo of our new executive dashboard as well, so you can see it for yourself.
Hello. My name is Miguel Rezende, and I'm a Senior Product Manager at MentionMe. Today I'm going to be showing you the new overview area of the MentionMe platform. This is your executive dashboard, showing everything you need to know about your brand's customer advocacy program. In the top section, you will see your advocacy insights, displaying your top advocacy metrics and general advocacy best practices. You can use the arrows to move to the next insight, and use the feedback button on the right to let us know if they are helpful. The next section is your value from referral. Here you can see all the most important KPIs like total referral revenue, revenue from new customers subsequent orders, and revenue from rewarded referrers. With one click, you can change the time frame between 7 days, 30 days, 60 days, 12 months, and all time. The default time frame is set to the last 30 days, and you can also see a comparison with the previous 30 days. Below, you can review the number of customers that shared the offer with their friends, the number of customers that made a purchase, and also the average order value of your new customers. The following section is the extended customer revenue. Here you can review the average value from referrers. This is the average spend of a customer who refers friends to your brand, plus what their friends have spent during that selected period. On the right, you can see the average value from non-referrers. This is the average amount spent by customers that haven't yet referred anyone to your brand during that selected period. If you want to know who your most valuable customers are, you can use the following link to go to the new customer revenue area in the platform. Below is the benchmarking section. Here you can compare your program performance against your industry. Here you can review the rate at which your existing customers share your campaigns with their friends. The purchase rate shows you which of those shares convert to qualified new customers. And if you'd like to view our recommendations to improve the performance of your campaigns, you can use the following link to go to the benchmarking area of the platform. The following section is the Smart Experiments and Smart Audiences. This section is only available for our customers using our Optimized package. In this section, you'll be able to review the results of your smart experiments that help your campaigns increase the repeat revenue, grow your marketing database, or optimize referrals and lower cost per acquisition. In the Smart Audiences module, you can easily review the status of your audiences syncing with your paid ad platform, like Facebook or Google. You can build additional lookalike audiences to help lower cost per acquisition, increase return on ad spend, and drive customer acquisition. The following section is your leads. Here you can see the number of new contacts added through your referral program. On the right, you'll have the number of contacts that have given consent to be added to your marketing or newsletter channels. In the final section is the campaign section. Here you can see how many campaigns are running and how many are saved as a draft. On the right table, you can review all the current campaigns with our different offers, A/B testing, and a quick preview. We hope this new executive dashboard is helpful for you and your business. If you have any feedback, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for everyone there. That was fantastic to see the new features in action. And thank you, Anke and Carol. That was fantastic to hear why these should be so valuable for our customers. And as I mentioned, I've been at Mention Me about 13 months now. And, you know, we spent a lot of time looking at talking to brands, looking at the problems that they face today around acquisition and retention, and then looking at how we could help to solve those, help to partner with businesses to make them more successful. And it's never been more important than it is now. We've touched on that. And so through this year, we've delivered a lot of features. We've talked about smart audiences, smart experiments. We've got ECR. We've got our new performance hub. We've got our new executive dashboard and a lot of other features we've delivered here, all with the idea of helping marketing teams to succeed in tough conditions that we find ourselves in. And that's going to continue. We've some really exciting problems to solve coming up, some really exciting features to deliver over the next 12 to 24 months. Just a snapshot of some of those. So we're going to help to build out more advocacy business insights. We're going to help you to see how you can use, for example, ECR within your outbound marketing campaigns to be able to drive more attention within your business, and there'll be additional features there. We're going to continue to enhance our advocacy brain. So we released the world's first true advocacy model, predictive model, back in May, that predicts if someone is ready at that moment in time at post-purchase to refer their friends and family. And if not, we help you to meet other business goals. We're going to continue to invest in that with some exciting innovations to come around that we've been experimenting on recently as well. We're going to have a lot more integrations as well. We want to be able to bring that data in from other tools to help them be smarter and be optimized. We've been doing that, for example, with our Facebook integration, smart audiences. We've seen between 15 and 30% reduction in CPA through using our smart audiences feature, which is huge considering some of the budgets that go for lookalike audiences in Facebook. That can make up as much as 4 or 5% of your marketing budget. We're going to integrate with Salesforce Marketing Cloud, and we're going to do SAP's CDP as well, and a lot more. But that's only a snapshot. We'd love to tell you more about it. We'd love to get you involved in alpha programs or beta programs or early access. We'd love you to use the features, try them, get them before anybody else, and get the benefit first. If you'd like to do that, we'd love to have a roadmap call with you, some of the product team here at Mention Me. You can speak to your CSM, Customer Success Manager, or you can email us directly, product@mentionme.com. Or if you just want to have a chat, why not do that? Tell us about your roles and we'll see how we can help you going forward. So it's been fantastic talking to you about these new features today. We have so much more to come. We'd love to get your feedback on them or any other ideas you have of how we could help you at the moment with the challenges that you face today. But thank you very much for attending today, and we'll talk to you very soon.